So what are the mistakes that you see filmmakers are commonly making when they realize that they need additional funding and they're only midstream?
Well, one thing is some people give up at that point, and I think
Yeah.
that it's okay to like take a pause, and ask yourself
Mm,
like, is this really worth it to me? And then, assess like, okay, maybe I can put off filming for a little while. There's been many times where we've wanted to go film something and we've didn't have the funding and we're like, oh, that would have been so great to have that. But it's just,
mm.
okay, well, we got all this other stuff, so we're just gonna have to let that one go. And I find like documentary filmmaking is such a spiritual teacher. It's like
Oh, wow.
it has all the major like spiritual lessons wrapped up inside of it. So one of those is like letting go, right? Another is tenacity or just recommitting. And
Yeah.
a lot of times, we'll be like, okay, we're running on fumes.
Yeah.
What do we need right now? And sometimes we can kind of just reach out to a donor that we've cultivated and say,
Mm,
hey, we're really in a jam, right? And they've funded us before and they trust us and they understand what we're doing now. And that's all about like funder communication. Or say we need a really big chunk and we've got 3 months before we really need it, we could run a crowdfunding campaign.
mm.
Or, I think grant writing is sort of the longest term and hardest thing
It is.
because, like I said, like if you're doing a development grant, let's say, and you're writing that grant and your stuff is starting to happen, you should start filming, but the grant's not going to let you know for 6 months if
Yeah.
you got it or not. So what do
Yeah.
you, and
What are
then
you
so,
doing in the meantime?
right, and then sometimes the grants are like, well, you can't use this as a reimbursement. You've got
Yeah.
to just use it for
Right.
the here forward. And
Yes.
so we're always like walking that tightrope, right,
Ah,
between what we need and what are the resources. And that is
yeah.
just a constant process, I think, for any filmmaker. I think I was working with a really prominent filmmaker. You would know her name, as a cinematographer, and she
Mm,
still didn't have the funding for a major film she was making, but the things were unfolding and she had to just dive in and shoot it. And I don't know how she financed it, but I was like, okay, well, okay, she's also, in a tight spot. So
right.
it's it's being really resourceful and really relying on other things that fill your life with fun and joy sometimes.